Hello, 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 and welcome back. I am your host, HannaGh, and you are listening to the CHAOTIC AQUARIUS podcast. If you're new here, thank you for tuning in, or if you're a regular listener, welcome back, guys. Thank you for all the love on the All Together Now episode. I didn't think it was going to resonate and hit the way it did, so I was a bit taken back by it. So thank you. If you are following me on the socials, thank you. And if you're not, what are you doing? And I asked my Instagram today, if you could give a piece of advice to your younger self like 10 years ago, what would it be? And did you have any fears back then? And the reason why I asked this question was lately I have been pondering, I've been replaying so much of my early 20s, like late teens, early 20s. I don't know if it's because I'm coming up to my 30th. Well, it's not till February, but in my head, I'm right, I'm inching closer to going into my 30s. And I've just been reflecting on my 20s, what I done, what I didn't do, what I should have done. Just everything, the feelings I had, the pressure I put on myself, the expectations, the highs, the lows, the friendships, the relationships, the careers, just everything that I've done to myself. And I was sitting there today and I was really thinking back to my 20s and in specific, my 21st and what a shit show that was. I will get into it because the dust is settled. I was thinking back to the time my 21st when I got attacked on my 21st birthday in a nightclub in town, and I'd booked an area and stuff, and this girl, lady, woman, I don't know, beast, comes over into our area and starts snooping through her handbags and her jackets and stuff. And if you know me, I'm mouthy. I will say it how it is. I'll just call it spade a spade. I don't care. I just say it how I see it. I'm probably running around so undiagnosed, 100% am, but I say it anyway. And this girl was in our area and we were down the dance floor, and the guys had said in the nightclub, look, that's your area, don't be worrying, you don't have to worry about this, that is your area, ground, whatever. I look up, she's in the area, and I'm what the fuck. I go up and what the hell, this our stuff, can you get out of it? And she was getting all rowdy, I was get out, and she was mouthing off and I was mouthing off, and then she put her hands on me, and that's when it all went out the window. She pushed me, then she smashes a bottle over my head, and ended up getting a scar here, a teeth and all got fucked up. It was a whole thing, it was a whole thing. But I just remember at the aftermath of that scenario, right, and how I was made feel like it was my fault by the relationship that I was in. And I'll never forget, I had texted him or whatever, and I was look, I'm after attacked. I'm in James Hospital, blood everywhere. And when I'd finally met up with him, he was kind of if you weren't so mouthy, Hannah, if you just kept your mouth shut, you'd not be in these problems. You wouldn't be in these situations. And I'm hang on a minute. Okay, I hear where you're coming from. But also, you can't just blame me standing up for myself for getting attacked. I didn't attack me. I didn't put hands on her. She put hands on me first. So from a very young age, from what I can remember, from being so outspoken and being so vocal on things, it's always, not that it's gotten me into trouble, has gotten me in situations that aren't great. Now, did me standing up for myself and my friends and saying, can you leave my bags alone, our jackets alone, this is our drink, was I the reason why I got bottled and got attacked? No, that girl was just a nasty piece of work, and she was just a nasty bitch, and she attacked me for it. But it's because of the person that I am that people automatically assume Hannah must have done something more. Where, as if it had been I don't know, someone else in my friend group that said it, that doesn't speak out about injustice or doesn't speak out or vocalise their needs, their wants, or what they don't agree with, would that person got attacked? They'd probably think, no. But they don't ever point the finger of, no, that girl was just nasty. So I think that really sparked something in me at 21 of, everyone thinks I'm the problem of getting myself into these situations, and everyone thinks because I'm so vocal that I'm the problem. And then as I went through my 20s and the more situations I was in, whether it be work situations or friend situations, and I'd always say what I see. So if someone's doing something nasty, whether it be to me or someone else, or if I don't agree with how someone's doing something, I'd say it, and that would get me in trouble. So for a lot of my years, my 20s, I'm constantly fighting with this aspect of, you can say how you feel and people are going to just label you as the mouthy one, or you sit there and you say nothing and you let people walk all over you, and I'm never going to let someone walk all over me. You're probably thinking, what is this tangent? What are we talking about here, Hannah? Stay with me. When I explained the whole fiasco on my 21st to my friend, who only knows me in the last year, because she was oh, your teeth are lovely, and I was oh, I had to get braces because I was bottled. She's what? And I told her. She was oh my God, that's so horrible. Imagine doing that to someone. Not once did this girl say, oh, of course you're involved in that. She did say, good on you for standing up, but at not one point did she turn around and make me feel like me standing up for my own space and my boundaries and keeping my place secure was being the problem. Like, it was in that moment that the penny dropped and it was like, oh my God, you've gone through your 20s defending the type of person you are, when all while it was the people around you that weren't your people. And I think when I think about it, I feel so upset for like HannaGh at like 17 and 21 and 25 and even 26, and how anytime she'd vocalise what she wasn't happy with, people just took it as, you're arguing, you're this, you're that. Of course, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, and there's that whole other aspect. 100%, I'm not saying everything I done was correct and how I went about things was correct. I think for so long people have automatically just painted me with this one brush because I've always been the one to voice my opinion. And I asked on my Instagram, what piece of advice would you give your younger self, and what were your biggest fears? And I think in that aspect, where that prompt came from, obviously it came from wanting to do this episode, but it was the fact that I think if I was to sit down with my younger self, not that I'd change anything, because again, butterfly effect and everything happens for a reason, but if I was to sit down with my younger self, the advice that I would have wanted at 21 that no one gave me was, you done nothing wrong for standing up for yourself. You have no control over other people's actions or what they're going to do or how they're going to do it. You only have control over yourself. I never hit her back once. I never went for her. I didn't get violent with her. My mouth was what I was using. And if you have to use violence instead of just talking something out, that's on them. It's not on you. And I think for so long I went around with this weight of, I'm always someone causing drama. I'm always causing trouble. But unfortunately, I get put in situations where I see injustice and I'm like, why is no one speaking about this? Why is no one calling this shit behaviour out? Just even from like a career perspective, I've noticed working with like older women who have this mindset of, you're younger, you should shut up and listen to me. But like, respect is a two-way street, and I'm not one for respect your elders. That's just not my thing. I respect you, respect me. I'll say it how I see it and I don't care. Like, if that pisses you off, no problem. But I do think a lot of the obstacles that I came faced with within my career and going through my 20s was because I was so vocal. And I think if I was to sit down with HannaGh at like 17 or 18, I'd be like, okay, girl, you are a very, very vocal being, and you're going to piss some people off with what you have to say, but just know the right people understand you and the wrong people won't. Do you have to argue absolutely everything and everyone? No. And that's the piece of advice I'd give her. It's to choose your battles. Always speak up for injustice and stand your ground, and never let anyone like bulldoze over you and like take you for granted. But does everything have to be an argument? No. So I understand why people think HannaGh English, troublemaker. I get it. But my perspective is, HannaGh English speaks on injustice. And that's the narrative that I'm going with. And someone's going to listen to this and I know they're going to be like, she is a fucking head case. But it is a hard one to navigate, because I've gone through my 20s constantly being like dragged if I speak out, if I say something. Because the same person could say the exact same thing, but because they're not me, they don't get perceived in that way. And I do think, obviously, I probably haven't helped myself in the past, but it's definitely, I'd sit her down and I'd be like, choose your battles, but not everyone's going to understand you being vocal. But also, never censor yourself and don't just like not talk about it. So that'd be the first piece of advice that I'd give my younger self. I think the second piece of advice I'd give my younger self would be, you have time, but also start now. For so long in my 20s, I thought I couldn't change my career. I thought I couldn't change the like trajectory of my life because I'd have to have certain milestones secured. And COVID really like chewed me up and spit me back out in that sense, where like it really turned my life upside down, but for the better in kind of a way. I felt like I had to have all of my shit together, had to, save for a house, do this, do that, da. It's like, HannaGh, like, you can just like pack up and leave. And I think that's something that I tell myself, like, if I could go back, I would 100% in my early 20s pack up and leave and travel and do all of those things and not be worrying about career or relationship or like, what am I doing with my life? Because I think I started to travel later in life, not later in life, but I definitely started to do things at a later time when I had more responsibilities on my plate. So when I'd go and do like my long-winded travels, I'd have to be like, right, I have to get back, I have to work, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I just think if I could go back in time, I'd leave that relationship, I'd leave my job, and I'd go see the world in the way I wanted. Like, I never done a year anywhere. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I get up and just do a year somewhere? That's not to say I still can't, but like, especially at that age where like, it doesn't matter how you're making the money. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's just like, go and see the world and like, see new things. And like in the episode of in the art of doing it alone, it's just, you learn so much about yourself when you go off on your own. And I think back then, which is funny because I'm 29 now, but Hannah at like 21, 22, 23 was so like, I'm not saying I'm more mature then than I am now, but back then I was so serious. I was like, have to save, have to do this, have to do that, have to keep this relationship going, have to buy the house. And it's like, why? Why? No, you don't. Girl, you have time. You literally have time. So if you're listening to this, whatever age you are, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Get up and go somewhere, do something. Like, leave that job, leave that relationship. Because for 7 years of my life, I was on and off with someone, and no, it's no hate on him and it's no shade to him. He's a great guy and learned a lot about myself with him and without him. But I did waste a lot of my time trying to make it work, whereas I could have been off doing whatever and seeing parts of the world and seeing parts of myself, and I wasn't doing it because I was like, I have to make this work. I have to make this job work. I have to make this relationship work. It's like, why do I? If someone is showing you who they are, take it for what it is. Take it for what it is and leave it be. But when I really do think back to like my teens and my early 20s, oh my God, you poor little muffin. Like, the things I went through, like, as well, another one, environment. If your environment does not feel safe, get up and go. Like, don't feel like you have to stick around because of family, your mother, your father, whatever it might be. Do not feel like you have to stay because of them. Like, they would want you to thrive. Because now I'm in a position where it's like, right, I really have to get my act together in certain aspects. What do I do? Do I pack up my life and move away? Do I secure myself here in Ireland? Whereas if I had just went and moved and saw things at a younger age, I'd probably not want to scratch that itch now. So I feel like I've done it backwards. Not that that's wrong, because again, everything in your life plays out the way it's meant to play out. But like, it's mad because back then I look then, I'm like I'm 29, when I get into my 30s, like, it's fine. Like, I'll have the house, I'll have the marriage, I'll have the kids, I'll have the everything. I found a journal recently. I think I was like 17 when I wrote it. And I'm pretty sure I said like 31, like, I'll have this, I'll have that. If I have a child at 31, I think I'll KMS. Like that. Just right now in this moment in time, I don't see that for myself. Yes. Obviously, if I'm lucky enough to do it and I'm ready to do it and I'm in the financial situation to do it and I have the environment to do it, I will bring a child into this world. But right now, if I was to talk to my 17-year-old self and be like, hey, you don't have a child yet, she'd probably KMS herself. But like, no. God, no. Couldn't afford one right now. No. Then to put my life on hold. No. It's just crazy what you think you want. And then like you come to that age and you're like, I didn't want that. What do you mean? I'd have a house by now. It's okay because I'm building them. I'm supplying people with houses. So I'm kind of going towards that. Just need to get a bit of land. Anyone have land for me? Put a modular on it, please. It is crazy, like, when I think back to my younger self then and think what I thought I wanted and what I didn't want. Like, even like my career, like, I was a manager at Benefit at 19. I managed a counter. I managed 5 girls, had their roster, done targets. Like, if I was to do that now, I started like doing other things. And then like I went into hair. Then I got this sporadic idea of wanting to go into HR and employment law. And then I done that course part-time. Like, Hannah back then was moving mountains. She was like, I want to do it all. And I think now I'm at a stage in my life where I'm like, what do I actually want to do with my life and where do I want to go? Because if I stick to what I'm doing now, I'm not going to be happy because everyone around me doing what I'm doing is miserable and you've no work-life balance. So I need to figure out what I really want to do long term. And I started looking back at Hannah back then where she just threw shit at a wall and saw what stuck. And she trialed everything. So I'm in a place in my life where I'm trying to calm my nervous system and tell myself it's okay to start again and it's actually okay to completely change the path you're going down. And I think my younger self needed to know that as well because I was just like running on autopilot. Like I was working 2-3 jobs. I was doing like 70-hour weeks. I had a relationship that was whack. I had friends that hated me, that wanted to see me fail. Family environment, chaotic. Health, chaos. Like, there were so many things that when I look back, oh my God, she needed a hug. She needed a hug and to be told, it's all going to be okay. Like, it's going to be fine. Like, you don't need to have it all figured out at 21. You don't have to have it all figured out at 30. You also don't have to have it all figured out at 40 and 50, because these pillars of like success that we tell ourselves that we need to have at certain ages, it's brainwashed into our being from like a young age. White picket fence, husband, kids, be a stay-at-home mom, or maybe have a striving career. Do this, do that, see the world, but also save. You know, work out 5 times a day, get your protein, get your fiber, do this. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm lucky to get 8 hours sleep, you know? Recently, I've just been, I wouldn't say spiraling, because I'm aware of the thoughts that are coming into my head. Recently, I'm reflecting massively on the trajectory of my life and where I'm going. What do I want out of my life? What do I not want? Where do I want to go? And what am I just done with? And I think a massive one for me, in order for me to step into the new life that I want, I have to let go of so much of the past. And that's a really weird thing to accept, because you're in that unknown of, is it going to work out? Is it not going to work out? But I think if my younger self now knew what my 29-year-old self is doing, she'd spiral. So don't worry, Hannah, because you're probably meditating here at like 19, 20, and you're seeing her, because I think time's an illusion. So as I'm saying this, I'm probably giving myself a pep talk at 21. Do you get, or I actually don't. I don't want to trip you, because I feel like this could like trip mushrooms inside your system right now. But like, as I'm saying this pep talk to myself of, you have time, Hannah, it's okay. Like, your younger self thought she didn't have time, but she does. In my head, time isn't linear. I think like time's like a circle. Like, I feel like, but we're all sitting there simultaneously. And I can actually feel the panic attacks and the crash outs at 21 that I was having when all that happened at my birthday. And I was the one to pull me out of that hole. No one else did. I pulled myself out of the hole of, you are not the problem. It doesn't matter who's projecting that you are, because there was family that was projecting that I was the problem. There was relationships, there was friends. I think that Hannah and this Hannah are actually talking to each other telepathically. And that's when we're having this conversation. Because I remember so vividly me sitting there being like, yeah, like, it's okay. Like, you're okay. You're not in the wrong. You look back at the time and you'd be like, it's fine. That was meant to happen the way it was when it did. But whoa, where is this episode going? I don't know. Literally had one coffee today and I'm talking about timeline shifts. But anyway, I have so much more advice that I'd give my younger self. Leave the relationship as well. Leave that man. It's funny that I'm saying I'd tell my younger self this, but I'd literally tell Hannah this last week, like a year ago. Probably in a month's time, she'll need this advice again. If a man tells you like they're done, or they can't, you know, live up to your standard, or you're too much, or you're this, or you're that, just walk away. Because there's nothing you can do to change them. And I stuck with someone for so long, trying to change me, trying to change them to make something work. And like, you can't change anyone. You can't even change yourself until you want to change yourself. So just leave it. Leave that man. Leave that friendship as well. I had a lot of friendships where they really brought out the worst in me, because I was kind of like a crutch for them. I had many friends that came to me when they were in like a dark hole, and I felt like I had to get them out of that dark hole. But then when I was in a dark hole, there was no one there for me. Leave that friend. Leave that friend. Like, goodbye. Sayonara. But yeah, I just tell, as I said, I tell myself, choose your battles, but like, also realize that you being vocal is not, you're not troublemaking. It's not troublemaking. Obviously, be careful on how you word things, but people are going to be triggered either way. You have time, but also start now. Leave that relationship, leave that job, leave that everything, and you have all the time in the world to start again and again and again and again. And just keep evolving, because that's the whole point of this life. But I did ask you guys over on my Instagram, if you were to give your younger self a piece of advice, what would it be? If you had any fears, what were they? And it was the response I actually got. Thank you for interacting, because like, there's only a few of you over there. But I feel like if everyone followed the Instagram, and if everyone on the Instagram followed the podcast, I don't know, maybe we could shift the algorithm for this. Push it for me. That's just a suggestion. But we all kind of had similar advice. And it's funny, because when I read through the advice and what you tell your younger self, we were all in the exact same boat. And we all didn't know how to get out from the hole we were in. We didn't know if it was going to get better. Oh my God, 2 magpies just flew by me. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy. Perfect. But I'm going to kick it off. Save money. I got that like 4 times. Yes, 100%. Funny, because I especially for me. So I was kind of earning adult money at like a teenager age, and I didn't know what to do with it. I had no one to tell me to start a credit union, no one to tell me to save, no one to put it away for a rainy day. I had no one telling me that. I'm also a Taurus rising who had a frontal lobe that wasn't developed. I spent money on ridiculous things, like redonkulous things, like stupid. If I could go back then, and if I was just even putting €50 away a week, what I'd have now. Obviously, like, I can't beat myself up about it, but if you are listening to this, if you are a young little spring chicken, start saving. Or if you're not a young spring chicken, whatever you are, save. Throw a few quid away. Be more cautious of how you're spending. And this is a funny one. That I was gay, trying to force myself into a box that I knew that wasn't for me. And then my friend actually sent me a voice note to explain what she meant by that. And she was like, look, I kept getting with guys thinking this is what the norm is, and this is what I have to conform to, and this is what everyone told me around me that I had to do. And then it wasn't for me, and it was freaking her out that, no, that's not for me, I'm gay. I think that's a huge one. It's like accepting who you are from a young age, and you don't have to put a label on who you are, but also don't be so fixated on fitting yourself into this box because society has told you this is the box. There is no box. There's no box. When you realize there is no box, you are just you. You're not your sexuality. You're not your skin color. You're not your race. You're not your gender. You're not your age. You're not any of that. You're not even your name because you didn't get to pick that. You're just you. So if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're whatever you are, allow yourself to be what you are. I think at that young age, there's so much pressure on them, young kids as well, to fit a certain narrative. Don't try fit into that box because fuck the box. Stop looking for validation through others. Keep your circle small, and your mom's opinion is always right about your friend. Wow. A round of applause. A round of applause for that one. 100%. 100%. And I was a sucker for that. I was seeking validation through everyone and everything apart from myself. You come into this world alone, you leave it alone. So no one can actually reassure you other than you. So when you're seeking, a butterfly flew by. We're getting all the signs during this podcast. 333 on the clock as well. I can't. When you're seeking validation from others to make yourself feel better, you're never going to get it. You're never going to get it. And I feel like at a young age as well, even recently, like I caught myself looking for validation through people and things. I'm like, whoa, why is that? Why is that? Another one she said, and that was keep your circle small. Absolutely. I think at a young age, you think the more friends, the more popular, the more cool you are. No, it's more people knowing your business, and that can absolutely backstab you with that business. Keep your circle small, because you don't need to have 50 million friends. And if you have one good friend, wow, it's all you need. And your mother's opinion is always right in your friends. My mom could clock so much about certain people. She'd be like, yeah, didn't like her. She gave me a bad energy. And I'm like, you're so right, Laura. You're so right. Stop worrying about everything that's out of control and try to enjoy life more. Yeah. That was me. I used to worry about everything. I'd be worrying about, well, if I have to get up at 8 tomorrow and I'm still not asleep, it's 1 o'clock, oh my God, I used to stress about everything, worry about everything. Obviously, you have to have certain concerns about certain things, and like, you can't be so laxy-daisy about things because it's also irresponsible, but especially worrying about other people. Because I found I used to worry about, what if that person can't do this or does this or da da da. It's like, if they're not worried about it, why are you? And definitely just try and enjoy life more. Because you're also not guaranteed tomorrow, which is crazy, like, we think we're going to live till 80 or 90 if we're lucky, but it's not, like, it's not the case. So you need to just be more present. I found myself, I either be in the past or in the future. I'm never here. I need to be more here. So I think we all just need to be more in the present. Start now, but also you can do everything that you think you can. Yes, like I said, you have all the time in the world, but I think that's also a cop-out for people not starting, and I can hold my hands up to this. I said for 2 years straight I wanted to start this podcast. 2 years straight. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Yeah, I have all the time in the world. The time's not right, the time's not right. The time's never right. It's never the right time. You're preventing yourself from doing what you know you want to do and what you can do. But like, absolutely, as that listener says, like, start now. Like, you do have time, but start now. And everything that you think you can do, you can do. Like, I'm a firm believer in that. If you have a thought about something, like you want to do something or start something or trial something, that's just not out of nowhere. You're not just getting that idea out of nowhere. It's a premonition. Now, not all premonitions come to fruition and they don't all play out the way you want them to play out. But if you're constantly having an idea in your head, can I? Yes, you can. You're on a floating rock. You can do whatever. It's just your mindset. Shift your mindset, shift your perspective, shift your life. And I need to take that advice. Okay? Maybe I'll listen to this podcast back and take my own advice, but here's hoping. Your gut is never wrong. 111. That is why I have it tattooed on my wrist. Your intuition, your gut. Oh my God. It tells you so many things. It gives you so many answers. And if you just tune in and listen to it, it's screaming at you. It will scream at you. And it's funny when like you feel a bit anxious about that. Like, sit with it. Sit with it. It could just be anxiety, or it could actually be an answer deep down. And you just need to actually sit with it. This is a good one. Things get better, and not to take everything so literal. This listener also mentioned like talking about like quotes online and how like if a quote said, if you don't do ABC, you're not going to be XYZ. I know exactly where she's coming from, because I used to get wrapped up in quotes on Instagram when I was younger. And it was like, if they don't do this, they don't mean this. And yeah, okay, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But I feel like as a younger generation, we can really hyperfixate on like quotes and motivational speaking and trends. And don't take social media so serious, because social media is literally made for us to fall into that trap and to take everything that's being put up and to absorb every single bit of content. And I think as well, looking back at myself at that age, social media was a thing. It was big, but it wasn't as big as it is now. I definitely feel sorry for the younger generation that are growing up, because everything is the phones, everything's online, it's Snapchat, it's Instagram, it's TikTok, it's this, it's that, it's performing. And it's fake. And it's also making kids feel like if you don't have a certain thing, or if you're not living a certain way, or if you're not aesthetically in line with what's in trend now, like you're a loser. Like, no, like don't take it all so serious. Like, it's not real, because everyone is just showing you their best, like their highs. No one's showing you the pits. No one is showing you the pits. But yeah, I agree with her. Don't take everything so literal, and it is all going to work out. Like, everything works out. This too shall pass. Absolutely. It will. It will. Like, everything passes. I think when you're going through a really, really shit hard time, when you get out the other end of it, you can look back and it's like a sigh of relief of, whoa, I honestly did not think HannaGh was going to survive that. So the last little bit of advice that I got was, it really does all work out. And that was the first piece of advice I got from my little interaction. And I couldn't agree more, because it does all work out. And if you think it's the end and you're panicking of the outcome, you haven't even got to the best part. The story is not over. The book's not finished. The movie's not over. The credits have not rolled yet. It all works out. And if it hasn't worked out, it's not the end. And I bet you anything, I could put my money on it, that once you get through whatever you're trying to get through, you're going to look back at that time and you're going to go, how did I do that? And how was I so concerned that I wasn't going to be able to do that? Because you're you. You are you. You've gotten through so many of your worst moments, days, traumas, situations already. And you also haven't lived some of your best days yet. If you're in a weird phase of your life at the moment, you don't know what you're doing, you feel like you're going backwards, you're like, where am I going? What am I doing? Like, just think back to your younger self and like their worries and what they're worried about. And if you were to meet your younger self now, they'd probably think you're deadly. They would probably actually think you're fucking deadly. Like, if you have a picture of your younger self now, I want to give you a bit of homework to do before I end this podcast. I'm feeling no tarot for this episode, but the tarot will come back because I have a surprise next week. But I want to give you all a bit of homework, okay? And you can reach out to me and tell me if you've done your homework, or you can just not do your homework. You can end the episode here. Look at a picture of yourself from a young age, like primary school, and look at a picture of yourself from your teens or your 20s, whatever age. You can pick the 3 ages or you can pick one. Probably going to think I'm crazy, but honestly, when you do this, it really does help. Look at them. And I want you to take every single detail of how your younger self looks. Take their smile, or maybe they're not smiling. take where their hands are positioned. Are their body language open? Is it closed? How they're looking, what they're wearing. Where are they? What environment are they in? Who are they around? Try to connect with how your younger self felt in that picture. What did they need? What did they really need? What was their wants? What were they happy about? What was their biggest worry? And sit with that, connect with that picture, and just give yourself thanks. Like, thank your younger self, because if it wasn't for that kid in that picture, you wouldn't be here. You would not be here doing what you're doing. And the person you are now and the age you are now, when you're 10 years old or 15 years old, you're going to look at a picture of yourself right now in this moment, and you're going to think the exact same thing. But whatever picture you're looking at, if it's 3 ages or if it's 1, sit with yourself, thank yourself, and forgive whatever is coming up for you. Because I know for a fact there's something probably bubbling inside you going, I never done this. I feel bad for this. Forgive yourself. Forgive it. And just know, like, whatever you done back then, right, wrong, good, bad, ugly, and whatever you didn't start and whatever you regret not doing, it doesn't matter, because if it wasn't for the way things played out, you wouldn't be where you are today. But with that in mind, all of the advice that we spoke about in this podcast episode, I want you to now integrate that advice into now, into this life, into this timeline, into this age, and take that. And, you know, today is a new day. You can start tomorrow. You can literally start again tomorrow. Nothing's real. Nothing is real. But yeah, our inner child, our younger selves, they need to be thanked. They need to be loved. They need to be accepted. I need to forgive yourself, because I forgive myself at 21 for everything that I went through, even though I didn't put myself through it. But what I put through, I forgive myself, and I also thank my younger self for never ever giving up, because that girl back then was so strong. Whoa, I don't want to cry. The wave of emotion as I said that. She was so strong. Like, the things she had to sit with on her own. Crazy. And I'm sitting here at 29 thinking that I can't get through my worst days. And there's so much good to come. I'm crazy. I'm literally here crying. If you're watching this on YouTube, I apologize. But whoa, it's not when you say, it's like when you say things, like, it really hits you. You're like, yeah, you were strong and you still are. But anyway, if you've lasted this long for this episode, thank you. Thank you to everyone who reached out and gave me advice and interacted. If you're not following the Instagram, it's just Chaotic Aquarius Podcast. Follow it. I would really appreciate that wherever you are listening to this podcast on, whether it be Spotify, Apple, YouTube, whatever, follow it, subscribe, like, comment, share, all the rest, because it does help me on my little journey. Because I probably should have started this 2 years ago, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm going to just leave it at that. I feel there's no Irish word needed or no tarot card needed, because I think we all just need to sit with ourselves for a minute. But I hope you've enjoyed. Catch you in the next episode. Grá Mór. Bye.